What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out Battle Brothers. Why are we checking out Battle Brothers, you might be asking? This is an old game. I just got a new DLC, and the DLC is completely and totally free. You can see it listed down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It's called Of Flesh and Faith. It adds two new, unique origins that you can play as, the Oath Takers and the Anatomists. The Oath Takers are effectively paladins that follow the teachings of young Anselm, who, gets referenced in the lore from time to time. Basically, they're religious zealots that are on the road, participating in oaths in order to increase the renown and the followers of Anselm to do great feats of strength and whatnot. And then you've got the Anatomists, who are effectively mercenaries that are working for a doctor incognito, stealing bodies, and so all the bandits and things that you kill, you get to harvest their parts, and you send those back to a doctor, and he gives you funding, and you've got your cap tables and everything else. But anyways, those are the two new options. This is a game that is chock-a-block with just ridiculous amounts of content to participate in. I personally think that this is one of the best indie games ever made. If you have a tolerance for RNG, be warned, this is not a game for the faint of heart. This is not a game for people that hate XCOM, because all this game is XCOM ramped up to 11, basically. This game is very random. This game is very, very difficult. I cannot stress that enough. And then on top of that, to quote Picard, it is possible to do everything right and still lose. That's the definition of Battle Brothers. Sometimes you can play things tactically perfectly in this game, and just your dice won't let you hit the enemy, so you rout, you lose, and you sit there scratching your head being like, well, I guess I'll start over. That's part of Battle Brothers. If you don't have a tolerance for that, this is not going to be the game for you. It's going to drive you up a wall. It will break many mice. If after watching this video you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can look down below in the description. That's where I'll have a link for you. You can get the game along with the DLCs. There are many of them at this point. And then on top of that, this game also supports Steam Workshop modding, which means that there's endless content out there for you to add on in that can make the game even more complex and interesting, which kind of factors into why I think this is one of the better indie games ever made. Aside from that, you'll also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream where you're free to swing through and hang out. There is a solid chance that during the next week I will be playing some Battle Bros on stream, and you can come hang out and watch that just in case the 30-minute video was not enough for you and you wanted a longer deep dive. We'll start our campaign off. We're going to play as the Oath Takers, although actually the Anatomists sound kind of cool too. I've tried the Oath Takers out. The Oath Takers kind of have a similar problem to the Gladiators. You start out with two guys that are impeccably provisioned, but the problem is they don't really have the levels and the skills to use the gear that they start out with. And so anyways, little bit of good, little bit of bad with the Oath Takers. I haven't checked out the Anatomists at all yet. We start with 3 men, high funds. We can research corpses of fallen foes and gain knowledge to empower your men. They can never be of confident morale. That's a little bit of a bummer. Okay, so they kind of have the same thing going on as the... Let's see here. There's another company, I think, that has that same debuff where they can never be of confident morale. And I don't remember who it is. It's it's the Deserters, or it's the Peasant Militia, or something like that. It's one of the... I think one of these groups can't have confident morale when they start out, too. Okay. Well, let's start out with the Oath Takers and see what we can do with them. I've already got them named the Fighting Flapjacks. You can choose your late game crisis just in case that's what toots your horn. You've also got your late game crisis down here. You can leave it on random. That's normally what I do. But this is a world-ending thing that's going to happen around day 100, give or take 50 days, where you'll either get invaded by a massive horde of greenskins for Warhammer Fantasy fun. All the noble houses will go to war with each other for that Game of Thrones feeling. There's an Undead Scourge just in case you're into Warcraft and you want the living to be wiped out by Lich Gods. You've got a Holy War, which is effectively going to be like the Kingdom of Heaven with the Crusaders and the Saracens fighting and burning each other's cities down. And so anyways, we don't have to pick this right now. We're definitely not going to see it inside the confines of this video, but it is a cool thing that happens just in case you're getting bored around day 100. We'll go ahead and start it on off. We've got the difficulty all set up. I've got it on high starting funds just because for the purposes of making a video, it makes things easier. I've got a lot of hours in this game, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game. And so anyways, I'm trying to set it up such that you see the most amount of content that you possibly can inside a 30-minute video, and high funds will kind of accelerate that a little bit. Okay, so there's lots of flavor text in this game. The writing is impeccable in this game. It's very, very good. The writing is absolutely fantastic. The game is a sandbox. There is no overall storyline to the game, except for the one that emerges from the interactions between your mercenaries and how they grow and the wounds they take and things like that. We've started out pretty much on the fringes of, like, the entire world. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere right now. This isn't a bad map, though. One of my big complaints about this game is the map gen can just be terminally terrible sometimes. But this is an okay map. This map is workable. I don't like this big gap right here that you've got to make a run for, but aside from that, we've got a pretty good strip of trade. The southern lands are a little bit scattered, but, like, the southern lands are always kind of a toss-up anyways. And we lucked out in that, like, we didn't end up with, like, 6 cities in the north and, like, 12 cities in the south with, like, nothing in between. So, like, it's not too bad. It's a decent map. It's livable. It's playable. So at the beginning of the game, we got to take a look at our characters. We started out with Heinrich, the Oathbound. As far as I can tell, with the Oathbound characters, they always start out with someone who is old. Old is bad. Old is one of those stats that if somebody has it, I fire them immediately most of the time, unless they're just absurdly good. This guy is not absurdly good. This guy is actually freaking terrible. And so I would get rid of him at my first convenience if I could. But you know, that's just me and the way that I play this game. I'd probably fire this guy pretty quickly. This dude, on the other hand, Ivar, is quite good. Ivar is very, very good. I think Ivar will develop into quite the fantastic warrior as time goes along. He's got 3 levels. Let's see if we can fix some of the things that are wrong with him. I doubt it, though, because all of his stars are in the wrong spots. He's got Resolve, which doesn't really matter for Oathbound. Resolve is not really a thing to think about with the Oathbound because they can take oaths that basically remove morale from the game. So, like, I'll give him some defense, and I guess that's it. And then we'll level him up again. We got better rolls that time around. I'm just going to keep working on basically his stamina and whatnot, but he's a pretty bad character. He's not great, but he does have funny meme number for his melee, so that's good. He started out with a banner. He's got the skull of young Anselm, which is actually our religious prophet. So these guys are actually like zealots. We've got what looks like a sword and a board over here, but he doesn't really have the fatigue to use it. So we're going to have to figure out a way around that, because that loadout is just flatly not going to work. His basic fatigue is actually pretty good. His gear is just too heavy for his skill level right now. We can get a little bit back by swapping that out right there. It's not as good as his other helmet, but it is good. We could actually think about selling this gear and reprovisioning everybody inside a chainmail. That might not be terrible. There are perks here. I have not allocated them yet, but the perks are actually quite good. There's a lot of builds in this game. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with the builds. There's a lot of interesting ways that you can build your characters out to achieve different functions in the realm of the battlefield. But for right now, I'm not going to really talk about any of those. Good early choices. Fast adaptation for anybody that has less than 60 melee at level 2 is really, really nice because that gives you a stacking chance to hit with every miss. Crippling strikes is great. Increases your chance to give them crippling injuries when you hit them. Colossus is also a fantastic choice. Increases your hit points by 25%. Never hurts on most builds. 9 lives. I don't really play with it. Bags and belts. I don't really play with it. Pathfinder can be good depending on your build. Adrenaline can be good depending on your build. Recover can be good depending on your build, but in general, I usually go with Fast Adaptation or Colossus or Crippling Strikes on an early character like this. I'll probably go with Crippling Strikes because he's got a decent attack chance. And then for his next level up, we've got even more options. We want Executioner because Executioner gives you a 20% damage boost against anything that's already been crippled and wounded. And so that's going to add up considering he's got a two-handed weapon that does a lot of damage. He's going to get a solid 10, 15 damage out of every swing if they're already damaged. And so that'll be good, or if they're already wounded. Ivar, I think we're just going to have to resupply completely. However, I don't think we're going to be able to do that out here in the fringes of society. We're going to have to find like a real city to resupply him in and make him maybe a little bit more resilient. I may actually sell off the armor on the Oath Keepers and just put them in really nice chainmail. It'll give them enough to survive early game encounters, but at the same time, they're not being weighed down by ridiculously heavy armor. This town actually seems okay. They got any chainmail around here? They got some studded armor. Might be okay. We can get 400 bucks for the helmet. I am tempted to strip all their gear and get a big payout right now. I'm very, very tempted. That's normally what I do with the Gladiator playthrough, is I strip all their armor off and sell it and then just buy them kind of early game gear that's like better than normal but still not as good as what they started out with. I think it's manageable. Could be done. That coif is actually quite good. That's not a lot of fatigue that he's losing for wearing that. That's a pretty good coif. I actually didn't realize how good the stats on that thing were. That's nice. Okay, well, we'll keep that helmet then. We'll strip off the armor real quick. We'll strip off the armor real fast. How much am I going to get paid if I sell this armor? So not a lot, actually. We'll make about 900 bucks. But with the 900 bucks, we would be able to hire an army to actually go out and do activities. So, things to think about. Alas, there's not really any gear here that I would throw on these guys. I'd throw the padded leather on them. Well, in the jobs, there is a package delivery. And that package delivery would give us enough money to buy both of these. So I'm just going to buy both of them. And we'll throw them on. We'll hold on to these armors till later. I may or may not use them. It's a very, very rare character that can wield 22 fatigue armor, even in the late game. Like, you'll usually have one or two guys that can do it, that you've specifically built in order to do that, but it's you know, very specific characters can wield that heavy armor. Other characters are going to focus more on dodge. They're going to focus more on getting out of the way. The other option is if we can keep him alive long enough, we can probably pull off a brawny build on these guys, which will help out a ton too. Yeah, even in the leather armor, their fatigue is still pretty bad. Is what it is. That's life. The cloth rolls are not that good of a purchase, so I'm not going to purchase them. This helmet is like flatly useless for a long, long time, so I'm just going to sell it, and we'll hold on to the armors for later, because I think that armor's fine. This armor right here, it'll save us some money, like hours and hours and hours on down the line. So we've got to take that package up to Dunkelmark. I'm going to make that run, and I'll let you know when we get there, just to save on, a little bit of the travel time or whatever. Oh, while we were traveling, we got our first Oathkeeper pop-up. The fighting flapjacks would be despondent without purpose. Sensing their needs, you retire to a quiet spot and sit to clear your mind. Young Anselm never allowed himself distractions, and you think this will work in your favor just as well. As time begins to pass, a thought nestles within your mind. You trust it to be flighty and go, but instead it grows and grows until you are made to realize it is the kernel of young Anselm's guidance. And that guidance says one thing: the fighting flapjack's oath should be. We can take the Oath of Humility. That means we get paid less by contracts, but we gain more XP. We can take the Oath of Courage. That means we will never flee from battle. Our morale will never break, but we get less XP. We can take an Oath of Fortification. So we have less fatigue from shields, but our men cannot move in the first round of combat. I don't tend to move in the first round of combat anyways, so I'm not really that worried about it. Let's go ahead and we'll take the Oath of Courage for right now, though. Oath of Courage is fine. So we arrived in Hochberg. I think in Hochberg we'll probably try to resupply or maybe pick up a recruit or two. I think if we could pick up like 3 guys, I would like to anyways. We've got Daytalers over here. We've got another Oath Taker on this side. My man came with the giant claymore right there. Masons tend to be decent characters. Usually in the early game, what I look for is I look for miners. I look for butchers. I look for one thief. I look for... lumberjacks are good. I like lumberjacks. So lumberjacks, miners, masons, those are all guys that tend to have stars in the places where you want them to be. We'll hire this miner, and we'll see if he's any good. And in fact, he's decent. He'll be a solid character if we can keep him alive. He's got a fear of beasts, which kind of sucks, but he'll be fine. He'll be okay. Nothing bad's going to happen to him. I'll probably also pick up the Mason over here, just so our team is developing. The Mason is absolutely abysmal. He's terrible, so we're going to want to, let's just fire him real quick. I'm just going to fire him now rather than later. I was going to say, maybe I'll sacrifice him, in a fight to get rid of him, but, he's just not that good. He just is flatly not that guy. He'll never be useful for, anything. He's just awful. He probably had okay morale or something that might have made him a bannerman. I don't know. I didn't look at his morale, but we already have a bannerman, so, once again, don't really need 2 bannermen. All right, so we've delivered the package. Our first job is done. We got paid 300 bucks. Easy peasy, a lemon, a squeezy. I like militia. I tend to like late game. I tend to like exclusively hire militia or better. In the early game, though, they're a little bit pricey for what we're looking for. We do have a rat catcher over here. Rat catchers can be kind of a mixed bag. I've had rat catchers roll stats that made them like god tier archers, but most of the time they're kind of useless. Well, actually, I don't think it's a bad idea. I pick up every single beggar and every single refugee and every single cripple I find most of the time because they're terrible, but it's kind of like opening up a pack of cards. Every now and again, you get something foil from just like a little 50-cent pack of cards, and beggars and cripples and refugees are like the definition of that. Like, they cost almost nothing, so I tend to just gamble on them to see if maybe I can pull out a late game worthy guy from time to time. And in fact, we will do that right now. There we go. So we filled out our roster. Are you guys any good? He is terrible. Okay. He's actually not bad. He rolled a pretty good. He rolled upwards towards the maximum of what he could roll as far as his starting attack stat. So the refugee's decent if we can fix his resolve. He's under oath right now, so we don't need to worry about his resolve for another 8 or 9 days. But we do need to equip him, so let's furnish these guys with some basic weapons. They both suck. I'm fully expecting them to die, but that's Battle Brothers. Sometimes you hire people just knowing that they're going to die. We'll get them some helmets. Basically, every time you roll your dice, there's a chance that you'll get hit in the head. If you get hit in the head and you don't have a helmet on, it's instantaneously a crit. I think it's also a crit even when you get hit through a helmet because there's a skill later on called Steel Brow that makes hits to the head, not crits. But, you know, just keep an eye out for it. Spears are the best weapon in the game for characters that have bad attack rates. So something to aspire to there. We'll get a couple of shields. I would like to get them in armor, but we're going to have to find a job. I'll probably just get a beat stick for one of them. You can have the beat stick since you've got the higher attack chance. You can have the spear since you've got the lower attack chance. We'll go ahead and throw the gambesons on them. We've got 5 guys right now, so I think we'll probably be okay to take a combat job. We might win. We might lose. Somebody might die, but that's life. We got to start taking jobs and getting some XP stacked up. There's no other weapons here for him to take. I'll take that armor right there. It's a little scuffed, but yeah, I may have gone a little bit overboard on the spending here, but that's okay. We've got these 2 suits of armor we can sell if we get in over our heads. All right, jobs. What kind of jobs you got? Over here, we've got $230 for us to go secure some wheat fields. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's usually an easy job. So the wheat fields are going to be ruins down here. You never quite know what's going to happen. Sometimes you get attacked by bandits. Other times you come down here and just sit here for a minute. You get paid $300 to do it. We'll gamble on it. Why not? I like taking chances. Let's see here. You take the spyglass from your eye and shake your head. The wheat fields is filled or perhaps infested with refugees. Better than brigands, you guess, but still a problem. Siegfried of Dunkelmark won't be happy about it. You know that much. On the other hand, the people down here, ragged, looking more bone than flesh. They don't deserve to be put out on the road again. Nah, kick them out, dude. You order the men to clear the refugees. They don't put up much of a fight. They moan and groan about a cruel world. All you can think about is how much you're getting paid. Yeah, exactly. We're mercenaries, dude. Get them out of here. Like, we were hired to do a job. Let's just move them on their way. Plus, we're broke. We are about to be refugees if we don't finish this job. Siegfried of Dunkelmark sits back after listening to the report. Any news? You tell him that the area's been cleared out, and the man swigs the rest of a drink in one go and sets the cup down. Good. Take this gang of workers back over there to rebuild. Once they're finished, come back for your payday. Now, this place has ruins around it. There are little economic things in this game that you need to be aware of. So, like, if you bring construction materials to a place that's surrounded by ruins, you will get a crazy price for those construction materials. If you bring metals to a place that has lots of blacksmiths and armor smiths, you'll get a good paycheck there. Just kind of depends where you're going, so keep an eye on it. This game does have a dynamic economy that will change as the game carries along, and so it's good to keep a weather eye out for price-making opportunities. The workers have made it on over here, and the wheat fields should be rebuilt in a day or two, which will increase the amount of food that's available for buying inside the market here in this town. So everything's interconnected. There are nobles that run this place. Those nobles have reputations with other nobles. Things can kick off. There can be little cold wars and whatnot. There are buildings that affect the economy and how much things cost and how much things need to be moved around. Lots of really cool details with this game. Now, this quest right here is to follow some tracks near Dunkelmark and recover a tome of arcane knowledge. I will take that contract, although this one's going to be a little bit risky. We don't have a great fighting force right now. Our guys are like the definition of somewhat okay. It'll probably be fine. Maybe. It can be hard to say with some of the earlier quests. One piece of advice from a veteran Battle Brothers player that I can give you is don't have more than 6 guys in the early game. In the early game, there's scaling. So everything in this game is scaled. It's scaled based on what day you're on, and it's scaled based on the level of your characters, and it's scaled based on how many characters you have. The sweet spot seems to be about 5 guys in the early game. There's 7 thieves over here. That's going to be a tough fight, but we'll see if we can take it. Ooh, we're fighting in the woods, too. That'll be fun. They aren't equipped very well, so they should go down pretty fast. I'm going to allow them to wear down their fatigue by closing the gap. Moving on forest tiles is incredibly tiring, and so we're just going to let them exhaust themselves for right now. We're just going to hang tight right where we're at. I probably need to wheel this guy back so that he doesn't have the height advantage conferred by that little mound right there. And we probably want to shift him back, too, while we hold a line here. So let's see if we can condense our line a little bit. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly where I want you guys. Let them pull on in. They shouldn't be able to attack because it costs you a lot of AP to move across forest tiles. And it looks like they've gotten a little bit spread out, which is great. 84% chance to hit. Big miss right there. That's going to set us back. Was really hoping to get some early game damage off. 62 and 62 miss. We've got a 77 right there. First kill with the decapitation. Very nice. You go ahead and squeeze back around the pikeman and get your shield up. Okay, opening salvo was a little bit rough. Go ahead and get your shield up. Give him a stab. He put himself in riposte mode. In riposte mode, any melee attack you take against him that misses, he gets an automatic counterattack. We've got a 69% chance to hit. Let's go for the 84 right there. 2 84s in a row that we have missed. Utterly disappointing. Like, if we had landed both of those, we would have killed 2 more guys right now, and we would not be having problems. 77 right there. That guy's pretty scuffed up. He's going to move in, go for the... Oh, he did not go for the kill. 2 misses at 70% right there. Not great. Really, really losing to RNG right now. Okay, some nice damage off right there. I'll take it. Go ahead and give me a strike on him. He's a problem. Those 2-handed weapons can one-shot a character, so I need them to be gone. His armor is now broken, and he is now dead. Okay. Not great. He's dead, though, so that's fine. If we can get these guys routing, like that guy right there, you see that white flag right there? That means he's rallying. That's good. Go for a kill right there to hurt their morale. He's routed, so go for... He's got a 49%. Finish him off with the clap, actually. I want their morale to fall. Oh, he's too exhausted to swing his weapon. Okay, you fire up there. Very nice. He's now routing, which saves his life. Go ahead and give me a little bit of something over there. He's now dead. We'll start condensing. Yeah, you get damage off when and where you can, but he's going to get away. Let's go ahead and run down this last guy right here just for the loot. Very nice hit. Unfortunately, it stripped his armor, so now we can't loot it. There we go. Okay, so not a bad synopsis for that fight. You know, for a first fight, it could have gone better. It could have gone worse. It could have gone much worse. Losing Bertolf sucks because he was the only character in this entire team that was a keeper. That's a little bit of a downer, but he was in the center of the formation. We missed, like, numerous 84s and 70% chances to hit in a row, and so it's just bad luck. There was nothing we did wrong right there. It was just bad luck. The way she goes sometimes. You clean the blood off your sword and go to retrieve the item. As you bend over to pick it up, you spot a man watching you. I see you killed my benefactor's men. My benefactor paid good money for that artifact, and it appears those he paid are no longer owed, so I can speak to you directly. I'll give you 360 crowns for it. Don't ever take this deal. It tanks your reputation. Like, you won't be able to come back to this town without being attacked for the guards by a long, long time. The deal can sometimes be tempting. Like, sometimes they'll offer to give you like 2,000 crowns for a 1,000 crown job. Don't ever take it. It'll lock you out of entire chunks of the map and whatnot for long periods of time, which can be a bit of a headache. We did get some salvage here, so we can probably sell some things off. I don't want the axe. I don't really want the pickaxe. We did get a sword out of it, and swords are pretty good. We are going to have to buy some tools at some point, otherwise we're not going to be able to repair our armor. How badly damaged is our armor right now? Not actually that badly damaged. I think we'll be okay. We can swap him out for a sword because it gives him a 10% hit chance, whereas the club does not. So he's actually got a decent chance to hit now, 67% versus their defense. He'll be good for killing people that don't have shields. If they have shields, he's worthless, but if they have no shield, we're all right. I think I am going to sell that armor. We just need the extra cash right now, and, like, nobody can wear it, so, like, why bother? We can actually swap that out for a couple of these bad boys right here, too, to increase the chance people survive. Are there any other good recruits here? Just hunters and whatnot? Okay. That's fine. You got any packages going anywhere? He wants us to find a ruin on the map for 300 bucks. It's a long way to the north and around Dreaded Mire. We can do that. That's basically free money for no combat, so I'll take it. It's probably... Sometimes you can look at the map and tell where it is. I bet you it's, like, right there. It may be inside the trees, but I bet you it's right there. As it turns out, I was wrong. We did find the place, but it was actually a bit further north than expected. But that's 300 bucks, dude. We're making money today. We made like 500, 700 bucks in one day. Food's a little bit scanty right now, so people are going to get grumpy pants with me. Might lose a little bit of morale, but that's okay. The shops will be open once we get here, and we'll buy some more provisions. That'll keep everybody's victuals all nice and high. Actually, we didn't run out of food. Good job. Apparently, we're tightening our belts around here. So there's another 240 bucks. This last job is a package, which is great because this is the last train out of town anyways. It's going southwest. I'm not in love with going back southwest to either Krunforst or Hochberg because I'm trying to get away from this corner of the map. So I don't know if I'm going to take it. It is free money. I was hoping it would go to the northeast, though. The good news is we got a few clubs rattling around. We can probably get some upgrades here. So decisions to be made about whether we go southwards. The supplies for tools are really bad right now, and we do need to repair our armor. So we do need to go to a major city or someplace that's well supplied right now. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad time. I would like to pick up these red armors. One of the first things I try to do before day 10 or 15 is make sure all my guys are in red armor, and all of them have the really, really nice Akatans. If I can get those, we're good. And it gives you a lot of survivability in the early game. From there, by like day 20 or 30, I like to have everybody in chainmail. You can click on individual buildings while you're inside the town as well, in case you were wondering. You can find nicer, better things at these locations. This is a crafting spot, so basically you can craft stuff from the monsters you've killed. They don't really have a lot of food here to resupply with, so I guess I'll just take the loaves of bread for right now. We'll get rid of the bandages too. We'll get rid of that. Just travel kind of light for the moment. I think I am going to take this, even though I feel like I'm going to regret it. And we'll just push down to Grunforst. Grunforst it is. Package delivered. Free money for being Amazon Express down here. You guys got anybody good that wants to, like, join up? There are some butchers down here. I don't prioritize butchers, but if I don't have anything else, I'll take a butcher. They're kind of pricey at the moment. What kind of jobs do we have down here? We've got another package delivery to go to the northeast. Southwest, actually. What's to the southwest? Oh, Dinkelmark. Oh, okay. There's more cities down there. Okay, I'll think about it. They want me to find an enemy hideout, and that's going to be to the east near the spine of the world. This one's kind of a gotcha, because if the hideout is on this side of the mountains right here, easy money. If it's on this side of the mountains right here, we're hosed. Well, we found it. We had to go all the way across the mountains, and in fact, there was an easy way to clear that. If I was a save scumming man, this would be a save scumming moment. But, way she goes. We got our 300 bucks. Let's head on back. Our dailies are only 60 bucks anyways, so we came out net positive. Plus, we're going to get that package delivery going down to the southwest. So, it'll probably turn out net positive. Ooh, dire wolves. I usually try to farm as many dire wolves as I can in the early game for their pelts, because in the late game, there's an item you can craft called a dire wolf mantle, which is, in my opinion, one of the best items in the game. If you have like a full squad of 12 guys and every single guy has a direwolf mantle. What makes the direwolf mantle good is that it adds like 15 or 20 armor to whatever armor you already have. But on top of that, it also forces anybody that has adjacency with you to make a morale check every time they join adjacency. And so with 12 guys who all have direwolf mantles, that's a lot of morale checks, and the enemy fails them very, very frequently. And since having low morale confers bonuses to defense, or I guess malices to offense, it can be very, very good for kind of taking fights that are sketchy and turning them into manageable fights, in my normal opinion. There's a festival in town right now. That's good. It means if we had incense, we could make a lot of money. We do need to buy some tools. I'm going to go ahead and buy some bread here real fast, and then I'm going to buy 1 stack of tools slightly above market value. Don't want to, but that's life. I could probably get... Well, he's got a sword on him. He's got broken ribs because we had an event while we were walking to find that hideout where he got challenged to split a rock that was shaped like manhood by some random guy. There's a caravan here. Okay, that goes to the east. That is the direction we're going. We've got another fight, so we can recover a golden talisman that was stolen. We also have another hideout, actually. All right, ways to the south. Yeah, let's go get our free 300 bucks. This is a great quest, in all honesty, for getting some early renown. This guy right here is offering us extra money to tell him about the hideout instead of telling our boss about the hideout. I'm going to head down in here to Markland and see if I can find this thing before we lose the daylight. Please be like right here. There it is. Easiest 300 bucks I've ever made in my life. Back to town we go, and then we'll hitch a ride on the caravan to go east. Although there's no crossing right there, so this guy will give us a $60 extra. Nah, I'm gonna stick to my employer for right now. You have reputation in this game, so if you go to your camping menu, like your retinue menu, you see this number right here. This is important. This is your renown. The higher your renown is, the better quality of jobs you get. You get paid more money for doing easier work. You also get paid more money for doing harder work, but you want your renown to kind of be positive. And like ratting on a quest or snitching on a quest or abandoning a quest, it craters your renown. It's really, really bad. On top of that, we also have reputation with all of these towns that we're interacting with right here. And as it goes up, you get, like, better jobs. You get, you know, introductions to nobles and things for, like, higher pay. This is all procedural. It's all randomly generated. You get different houses every time you play. But we've actually got a decent bankroll right now. We're not doing too bad. It may be time to look and start seeing if we can find some better characters. We got some very cheap daytalers up here. I think I'll go for them. Even if they're bad, like, he's actually not a terrible daytaler. It looks like he's got asthmatic, which kind of sucks. We can sort of make up for that if we give him a fatigue recovery ability. He's apparently fearless, though, which is really, really good. This guy right here is night blind, and he's short-sighted, so this guy is just... He's like me. He's not very useful after dark. All right, let's see if we can get them equipped. So we've got 2 spears here. I will take those 2 spears. We've already got a hat, so we'll get another one right there. We'll get a couple of gambesons. And do I have any shields left over? I have 1 shield left over. Okay. We'll throw spears on them for the plus 20 bonus to hit. We will throw the Akatans on them. There we go. You will have a shield for the extra defense just to maybe keep you alive for a few fights. We'll grab another shield over here. Normally, I have a lot more shields rattling around. Honestly, we can probably take the gold talisman quest right here. I feel like we're equipped for it. Yeah, let's take the gold talisman quest. Why not? See if we can go get ourselves into some righteous combat. Maybe pick up some salvage. Like, I think we're in a good position to scrap with some basic bandits right now. They want to fight us on the mountain ridge, huh? I'm going to wait till morning before I pull these guys because we got that night blind guy. And so I'd rather not go into combat with, like, a severe penalty to one of my characters. There we go. It's now dawn. I don't really want to fight them on this terrain, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes this terrain is workable. Sometimes it's not. It looks like we got the good side of the field, so I think we'll be okay. But let's pull everybody up on the ridge here. They do have a lot of swords. Swords give hit bonuses, which Hit bonuses worry me. I should have rearranged my guys too. I'm gonna go ahead and join the combat right here and get some damage off. If I can, I want to maintain this ridge and make it mine, basically. You come in down here, fill in that gap so that they can't get to my pikemen. You get up on the ridge as well. Hope for a kill right there, but no kill. Let's go ahead and bring him down right here, too, to protect the pikemen. Big hit right there on the first turn. Kind of a bummer. Would rather not have a big hit on the first turn, but we did a little bit of damage. He's now dead. Enemy morale is faltered, so they've got a lower hit chance. I would like nothing better than to take that spot right there, but it's dangerous to step into. Do it. Yep, we got his morale to falter a little bit more. Ooh, 1 hit, 1 kill, and this guy's now routing. Okay, yeah, move up. The fight is going well. We do have to worry about that weapon right there. It can one-shot an early game character, so we need to focus on him. He's got that Godin Dog, and that Godin Dog is a problem. Luckily, it looks like the Godin Dog has been neutralized, so good stuff. With the step in and the swing, unlike the last fight, this one appears to be going in our favor. Good stuff. We'll go ahead and flank right there. We'll put a little bit of damage on him. More damage on him. He's now faltering, which means he's got a lower hit chance. He went for a stun and then a normal swing. That guy's running for his life. There's another kill. This guy's now routing. In fact, they are in full rout right now, so we have nothing to worry about. Everybody step on in. It's time to purge the dead and go on with our lives. Easiest quest I've ever completed. Easy peasy stuff. 2 swords, that's a high market item. 2 armors, that's a high market item. Godin Dog, 2 shields, not bad. That's a good quest for us right there. That's a really good resolution. Let's look at our level ups. So we have a level up on Ulfert the Weasel. He's a brute, so he has bad melee skill, but when he does hit somebody in the head, he does crazy damage. So we want to build this guy to be a flail character, because flails have an increased chance to hit the head. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have the combat accuracy to support being a flail character. He's good at melee defense, though. He's really good at melee defense. I'm actually kind of impressed with how good he is. We're going to want to give him fast adaptation so we get a plus 10% chance to hit stacking for every time that he misses. We've got our swordsman over here. He rolled okay. He didn't roll like amazing, but he rolled all right. We'll give him some health and some accuracy. And then since he's got decent health, he's actually got kind of a bad hit chance. We'll start with fast adaptation again over here. And Ivar has leveled up. Ivar is one of our main, like, banger dudes, and so we want to make sure he's got really good stats, because we're probably going to build him to be like a Battleforge guy. We can probably give him something like Colossus, just to make sure that he survives, so now he's got 75 HP. Morale's looking good. We've got another victory on the road. Let's head back to town and get our paycheck. Paychecks for everybody. And, of course, a package delivery that is going to the northeast. I'll take it. Why not? I will take it. All right, so what do we have going on here? What can I vendor? Obviously, the 2 tunics, the club, the Godin Dog, the club, the flail, the club. There we go. Not a bad paycheck, actually. We came out somewhat on top right there, and we solved most of this town's problems. I'm a problem solver. I solve problems. I don't see any super obvious upgrades for the moment. There's no trade goods that are going to benefit us. I think we should probably pick up some berries, and we should probably pick up some bread, just so we have food for the road now that our party is getting larger. But that was a good resolution for us. That's not bad. Could have gone worse. Could have gone a lot worse. But this is Battle Brothers. I think Battle Brothers is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I'd recommend this game to anybody that likes procedural sandbox RPGs with a severe tactical bent to it. This is a hard game. I would not recommend it to anybody that gets pissed off by RNG. This is not the game for you. This is one of those games that's going to tilt you up a wall because, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's possible to do everything right in this game and still lose if just the dice are being abysmally terrible. But with good builds and optimized characters and careful scouting for new characters and elimination of bad characters, you can kind of weigh things in your favor to win most of the time. That's not to say that, like, there's not going to be a couple of losses here and there. Losses happen in Battle Brothers. It's a big part of the game. How you deal with that determines what kind of Battle Brothers player you're going to be. Whether you exist in just a perpetual state of salt, or whether you persevere and carry on and become very, very good at the game. But this has been one of my personal favorites for a very long time, and so I'm happy that the developers, out of the kindness of their heart, have developed a big, giant, free DLC that we can play with, add more stuff to the game, because more stuff never hurts. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping on in. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today it was Battle Brothers. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, everybody.